Hello everyone, welcome to part 8 module 1 computer network. We were still at the concept of wide area network only. So in between we tried to explain two different terminologies like virtual LAN and virtual private network, and that is the reason the video extended like this. Wide area network and its implementation is what we are looking at. A wide area network, the one way of implementing it is through virtual private network. That is what we covered in the previous video. Now this is another way of doing it, that is through internet service provider. The same virtual connection like everything that what we seen in virtual private network, now a third party is doing it, that's all. So simply you can see that, and they are providing services for us and we are taking service from them. So in the second variation, the subnet may be run by a different company. Subnet means what? Like subnet we already seen when it comes to computer network terminology. We many computers want to communicate each other and we call those individual computers as host. Right now between this host, how the networking is happening, like how the transmission lines were dedicated between the host and what about the protocols and how the communication is actually happening between the host is what we call as a subnet. And also the subnet, mainly we have the transmission line and the network devices that makes this computer networking possible. Okay, so subnet may be run by a different company. So that is the idea. So far that everything is taken care by the organization itself. Now if it is the entire means responsibility of the networking is taken care by a different company. We have such internet service provider, and this is what we call as ISPs. Okay, like HNet, Airtel, it could be anything. Okay, so any company can do the role of running the subnet, the further support for a given network. So the subnet operator is known as a network service provider in general, and the officers are its customers or the host. The subnet operator will connect to other customers too, as long as they can pay and it can provide a service. So in the sense when it so in the previous case in virtual private network, I told you like the organization spread over multiple branches, and between the branches how the communication is taken place. They are running their own VPN software and they are making it possible. Now they are depending on a third party, that is a network service provider, and they will be providing services to the individual machines being connected to each branch office. So this is not only for organization. Now we are also for our home purpose we are taking connection from the internet service provider, right? So the subnet operator, that the network service provider, will connect it to other customers as long as they can pay. So that is the only thing. So that is for what we are paying for HNet or Airtel, whose network you are using. So and it can provide services even. So the network provider and network service provider both are different. Okay, so keep that in mind. So here we are talking about network service provider, in the sense the one who is taking care of the subnet, the transition line and the network devices. So such a subnet operator is called internet service provider, and the subnet is called the internet service provider network. So its customers who connect to the internet service provider receive internet service. So we are supposed to take connection from them and we are getting their service. So in most wide area network, the network contains many transmission lines and connecting a pair of routers. Okay. So here we are trying to explain another concept. When we have a pair of routers in the sense to this router other devices will be connected, right? Router, the switching element, right, with some additional functionality we call as router 1, and this is another router, say router 2. And actual communication is between two end devices like A and B, and they want to communicate each other. And this A will be connected to one router and this B is connected to another router located at some other part. And in between there will be a number of routers and other networking devices. And now for this R1 to connect with R2 for a pair of routers, or for A to connect with B, we have a number of transmission lines, right? Like from here you can use this path, or you can use this path, or you may be having some other different path. Now the question is, out of these three, which you are going to take at any point, and this decision making is what we call as a routing algorithm will be deciding that for you. Okay, now a similar terminology is forwarding algorithm. Just okay, I want to differentiate these two. So routing algorithm, in the sense the one which we are running at the intermediate routers, and that is that will be taking a long term decision, like so let it be transmission line 1 and transmission line 2 and transmission line 3. Out of these three, which can be taken for sending the information. Okay, and then depending on different criteria, like it can be the congestion or the traffic, or it can be the length of the route, number of hop, or number of hop in the sense from this node to this one hop, another hop, like that, a number of hop. It can be anything like that. Okay, so that decision making is called routing algorithm, but we are using another terminology called a forwarding algorithms. That is an immediate decision making. Say this router, it is having 3 outgoing link. Okay, so we are not looking at the path as a whole, it is having 3 outgoing link. So this is one immediate hop, and this is another hop, this is another hop. So I can either use this link or this link or this link, so that from me the information will be passed to the next hop. Okay, now it will be up to the next switching element to proceed the packet further. So initially it will run a routing algorithm, and it will choose a particular transmission line. Now to reach that particular transmission line, which outgoing link is to be chosen, and that is the immediate decision done by the forwarding algorithm. Sometimes by using a number of forwarding decision, the routing will be done, or it could be a common routing decision, and forwarding will be done as part of it. Okay, so you can interpret it in any ways, but anyway, this forwarding algorithm and routing algorithm, the difference is, routing is a long term decision by looking at the entire picture of the network. You are having the decision, the entire picture of the network. Okay, now when it comes to forwarding, it is a local decision kind of thing. You are just looking at the outgoing link, and you are identifying the best outgoing link. So most of the switching elements are having this forwarding decision, they can take nicely. But if the device is capable of taking routing decision, that is by looking at the entire picture of the network, that is something more intelligent decision making, right? And that is where we are using the so-called router. So now this is this difference is somewhat clear for you, but it will be more and more clear in the subsequent discussion. Okay, so of subsequent modules. So you can understand it like a router is also a switching element, but instead of forward decision, it is taking the routing decision, which is a long-term decision by looking at the entire picture of the internet. Okay, let me clear it. Okay, fine. So this is what I am trying to say. If two routers that do not share a transmission line wish to communicate, they must do it indirectly. If the routers are having direct connection, simply they can use a direct link, but they do not have any direct transmission line, but they want to communicate. It has to be done indirectly, right? Indirectly in the sense with the help of the intermediate routers. So there may be many paths in the network that connect these two routers, and how the network makes the decision as to which path as a whole is to be chosen is called routing algorithm, and how each router makes a decision as to where to send the packet immediately next is called forwarding algorithm. So normally the switches are doing this forwarding decision making or running the forwarding algorithm, and the routers are one which can do both forwarding as well as routing. Okay, in the sense they can by getting a full overview of the network, they are taking the decision of forwarding. Okay, that's all. Now just an example for the wide area network using the internet service provider network. So so the only thing is the same concept as we already seen in the virtual private network, but it is some kind of it is not in the sense even this also virtual connection only, but the decision making is done by a third party called the internet service provider. Okay, so they will be taking the and we are supposed to pay them, and they will provide service for you, in the sense they will create this, and they will terminate as and when it is needed, and they will run the routing algorithm, forwarding algorithm, everything for you. But only thing is, like, you have to pay them for the service. Now say few differences among sorry, I forgot to put animation here. Okay, so let's see. I listed out everything here. The wide area network with wireless technology is what we are looking at this point. Already we seen the so-called LAN, wireless LAN, right? The Wi-Fi, wireless LAN, and the wireless metropolitan area network, the WiMAX. Now we are looking at the wireless wide area network. Okay, so wide area, it's having a huge coverage compared to a metropolitan area network or a local area network. So how it is achieved? We have two ways. One is by using the satellite system, and another one is by the cellular telephone network. So these are more different paradigms were also there, but these two are widely popular. And you can imagine how things are working. Cellular telephone network is something we all are using, and we are in the fourth generation, right? So I listed out some first, second, and third generation, and now in fourth generation, very soon we will be moving on to fifth generation, and that is one way of achieving this wide area network in a wireless sense. Okay, but we have the concept of tower. To that tower, a set of devices being connected, we call as a cell with a specific shape. That is why it is having this name, cellular network. And the satellite communication, of course, so in satellite communication, each computer on the ground has an antenna through which it can send data to and receive data from the satellite orbit. Okay, so that antenna will be doing that. So the ground devices and this is so-called satellite. So first it will be sending the information to the satellite, and from there it will be forwarded to the other party. Maybe acknowledgement will be coming back. So that length, the distance, if you are considering, it is not so flexible as that of a wide area network. It is definitely the signal has to travel a long distance using, and normally the satellite systems, they were orbiting the planets and all. Okay, so maybe with the help of some communication satellite, you can achieve this communication. So all computers can hear the output from the satellite, right? So because satellite is doing this broadcast, so inherently it is broadcast in nature. That is what you have to hear. But only the one whose address matches will be taking the information or processing the information. Others will be simply ignoring it. So every device is supposed to hear the output from the satellite, and in some cases they can also hear the upward transmission. So upward transmission, I am trying to send something, and my friend is also trying to send something. So I can even hear my neighbor's communication also. I can sense the antenna can capture. So such things has to be tackled clearly, and it is inherently broadcast and most useful when the broadcast property is important. So if the communication is some kind of broadcasting in nature, and that time if you are using it, it will be very effective. But if we don't prefer broadcasting in our application domain, then it is not a good idea to use it. Cellular telephone network is another example of wide area network that uses wireless technology, the wireless wide area network kind of thing. The first generation cellular network is actually analog in nature and supporting only voice, and the second generation, if you are looking, it is digital in nature but only for voice. Again, when it comes to third generation, we have support for both voice and data, and it is digital. Okay, so and fourth generation, when it comes, again digital, voice and data with some added benefits that improve the speed and all. Okay, many other terminologies, multiple in input output antenna, like that, many things were added in fourth generation. Of course, it is going to be fifth generation with a huge variation. Now each cellular base station, and here this antennas, satellite something, here we have the concept of tower or base station that covers a distance much larger than a wireless LAN. Okay, so the coverage is somewhat large. The base station are connected to each by backbone network is usually wired. So I already told you, so even though wireless, we can't exist it fully wireless kind of thing, we have to take the support from some wired backbone at least. So the data rates of the cellular networks are often of the order of 1 megabits per second, maybe much smaller than wireless LAN, and can take up to 100 megabits per second. But if you are looking at this Wi-Fi communication or wireless LAN, the speed is higher. It is coming in the order of giga bits per second, right? And why it is so? Because and this that is the coverage is smaller only, but here the coverage is more, as well as that we are depending on wireless media, so definitely the speed will be less. Okay, hope you get an idea about the so with this we are ending our discussion on the different classification of networks by size, the so-called personal area network, local area network, metropolitan and wide area network. I think, and I just given a comparison table. Maybe in the next part of the video we will see that, and with that we can wind up the entire thing. Okay, so I think we spend more time on wide area network because we were trying to add some other information like virtual LAN and all. Okay, anyway, useful information only, but from exam point of view you can just see minimum like the classification of network by size. Okay, thank you.